This video is sponsored by Blocker X. When little Austin was around 11, he was not the most athletically gifted. One day, while playing some baseball during PE, he was in the field while his team was losing pretty badly. The ball was heading right for him. All eyes were on Austin. He stuck his hands out to catch the ball as it was coming in. He knew this was his moment to show everyone that he was a winner. But he flinched at the last second. But wait, there was still a chance. He ran over to the ball, which was rolling away, while hearing his teammates yelling, "What the hell was that, Austin? Why are you here?" Enraged by these comments, he picked up the ball, determined to prove his classmates wrong. And he stumbled, letting go of it too early, which led to the ball trailing perfectly vertical in the air. Up until that point, I always had a warped perception of fitness. I had always been skinny and weak, and I just couldn't wrap my head around how my friends just never worked out but were always consistently ridiculously strong. This was my first envious attitude towards life, where I started comparing myself to others. It didn't take long before this attitude spread to different parts of my life. When Austin was 13, he didn't wonder how he could get invited to more events or parties. Instead, he complained, "Why are they getting invited and not me? Why do the kids never ask me to sneak out? Why doesn't anyone ask me to do the cinnamon challenge?" When he was 14, "Why is my voice taking so long to break compared to these football players? Why do these girls like these guys and not me? Why am I not one of the popular kids?" When he was 16 and started a YouTube channel, "Why are these other YouTubers growing faster than me?" And most recently, the most toxic envy that anyone can experience, when he was 19, "Why do I have to be cursed with being depressed? And why do these other people have better mental health?" I was a pessimistic piece of shit. No wonder people couldn't stand me. It shouldn't come as a surprise by now that it was precisely this attitude towards the unfairness of life that made me so undesirable. When I was still in high school, I had this underdog mentality where I thought as soon as I graduated, I'm gonna show these kids just what they missed out on. I'm gonna succeed just to rub it in their faces later and prove them wrong. And they will be sorry. I thought that, oh, all these celebrities are saying that they were bullied in high school. So, obviously, since I was bullied in high school, I will become a celebrity. And it was only after high school ended where I realized just why people didn't like me. In Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, he explains the main principles of success. One of those principles is learning how to direct your sexual urges towards more meaningful things and learning how to control it. In my experience, if you just completely ignore trying to control yourself with sexual urges, then every other tip pointer is pretty much null and void. It just doesn't apply anymore. You just don't have the motivation. Even Elon Musk briefly talked about this in an interview where just an unbelievable amount of brain capital throughout humanity is wasted on frequent porn use and sex. Because frequent uncontrolled use hinders creativity, concentration, and just makes you undesirable to interact with and converse with both men and women. Today's video sponsor, Blocker X, is honestly the best medium to long-term solution to killing your urges right then and there. Blocker X is an app that you download on your phone and is also a Chrome extension that, once downloaded, will on its own, no custom settings required, with just one click, just switching it on, will block all porn-related links and imagery from your Google searches. I don't recommend any other website blocker except for Blocker X, and here's why. Most of us are gamers, one way or another, and most gamers get their dopamine from playing games, which usually entail overcoming a short-term obstacle to get to your desired outcome. With this mindset, you tend to view these website blockers as just another obstacle, which leads to the anticipation, and you just find yourself in this weird situation where you're just like, oh, I should just uninstall this to get to your desired video. Blocker X has an amazing community behind it, which will support you when trying to quit porn. And it even has this feature where you can set up an accountability partner. So to get through Blocker X, any attempt at trying to get around it or trying to turn it off, your partner will find out. I honestly cannot recommend Blocker X enough. It is just such a superior product. I strongly suggest getting Blocker X Premium. Trust me, it's worth it. It has a lot of really nice features. They've also set up a special deal just for my viewers where if you use my promo code Austin and click on the link in the description and pinned comment, you will receive 20% off on Blocker X Premium. Now, a good portion of the loser unpopular, drifting kids are envious to popular kids since they just have everything that the loser kid desires. A common case of just wanting what you don't or can't have. But what do they have exactly that the loser kid finds so appealing and so desirable? And furthermore, why do you want to be like them? How can you possibly know every minute detail that's going on in someone's life when you're merely just observing it from a distance? You don't know all about the insecurities or the misfortunes going on in that person's life right now. But for the sake of this video, let's just assume that everything about a person's life is that boring and it boils up to the surface for everyone else to see. What people envy the most about others usually boils down to these four things: looks, emotions, success, and abundance. There's no need to speak about success in this video because we all kind of already understand that if you can believe and conceive, then you can achieve. But what's most commonly envied in others is their looks. You may think you're ugly, and you may think that, oh, you're just cursed and you just weren't born to look nice or something in comparison to these other people. But here's the thing: what would you rather believe? That you're just born this way and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it and that's just a done deal? Or would you rather believe that there is something you can do about it and you do have control over your own looks? I believe in a spectrum in life. It looks something like this. This basically represents someone's potential for how attractive they can look. Obviously, there's a bit of luck here, and when you're born, you're just kind of plopped somewhere here on the spectrum at random. One thing that most of us don't realize is that there's potential for everyone to look their best and their worst. Because wherever you're plopped down on the spectrum, there's potential for you to move back and move forward. If you think you're severely ugly right now, I doubt it. I don't think that's the case. You're probably somewhere down here, and in reality, you might just be afraid of change, and you might think that because this is just your normal look, you're okay with it. And anything better that might be classed as normal looking to everyone else, you're afraid that it might get worse. But often when people look good and look physically fit, they usually had some say in the matter on their level of attractiveness. And they all share one distinct emotional trait: they respect themselves. They respect themselves enough to work out and take care of their body and their physical health. They respect themselves enough to eat right and not waste their money or time on junk food. They respect themselves enough to just look presentable. They respect themselves to demand respect from others. That is why more attractive people receive more of a favorable attitude from others around them. Obviously, after showing respect, of course. Now, when it comes to abundance, this does not lead to happiness. Sure, things are nice to have, but they're merely circumstantial. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, I'm paraphrasing here, not quoting, but in his book Meditations, he said something along the lines of, why value or hold such high meaning to materialistic things when they can be possessed equally in the same way with common thieves or random women that sleep with whoever they shake hands with? Sure, it would be nice to be rich and miserable over being poor and miserable, but misery is there just the same in both scenarios. But misery can sometimes be even stronger for the people well off. For instance, although we've accepted talking about certain mental health difficulties, we only have an easy time accepting mental health difficulties from people that on the outside portray themselves in a tight situation financially or materially in the physical world. But as soon as we see that someone's life on the outside is good, we can't wrap our head around their depression or whatever. Someone that's well off with maybe a narcissistic mother, that kid will feel duty bound to portraying their mother in the best light possible when really they could be living a nightmare. Another instance can be someone that comes out as gay and then comes out as not gay after, going backwards. I mean, have you ever heard of that happening? A gaming YouTuber or a Twitch streamer or a pro player that might feel super overstimulated and disconnected from the rest of the world, but can't really seek help or speak up about it because he or she always receives a common response of, oh, you have the best job in the world, you're just vibing, or you're playing video games for a living. Or a super rich, spoiled kid who has everything, material obviously, but lacks the love or affection from their overworked parents, and now they're contemplating in this situation on their pixie dust panda fur blanket whether they even have the right to feel sad. I have no other better way to conclude this video other than saying, stop being jealous or envious. You can't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Understand that the universe isn't playing favorites. Easier said than done. When I was younger, I would always think to myself, oh, well, this is just the way the universe wants it. They just want me to fail. You know, it's easy to accept it in the heat of the moment, but you really just need to understand that the universe is not playing favorites. And there's always something you can do to change your circumstances if you really want to. One thing you can do to try and extinguish envy from your life is right when you wake up in the morning or right before you go to bed or both every day, you say out loud or write down in a diary or something that you are grateful for. Because I guarantee whoever you envy or are jealous of most likely lacks that thing that you are grateful for in your life. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.